you know, that stuff's important too. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
but all of that other stuff that that guys like Stuart Copeland and guys like me try to impart to younger drummers is learn about the things that fall, you know, between the cracks, like you know, just how to say good morning to your tour manager,
right,
or how to don't slam a door if you're on a bus,
yeah,
or you know, just the simple things that will keep you probably in work or you know, working for a band a lot longer than if you were to be the fastest drummer on the corner.
Dystopia Tonight. Dystopia Tonight.
Drummer for the June Blossoms. What's going on, man?
Waiting for that very special guest, and I'll step right in for you.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
Well, as soon as that other guy comes in, people are always like, "Man, that was cool. When's the cool guy getting here?" I don't know. That's it. That's fucking awesome. We were trading hair secrets backstage. I could have done that all night.
I mean, anything you want to know? Like, actually, I thought of another. So I was saying a little while ago before we hit the airwave that I listened to the Fugelsang interview, and he had mentioned that he had gone post-pandemic hair, and it was somewhere in between Air Supply, and I thought of the other name that which killed me was Nick Cave.
Yes, Nick.
Yes. Yeah, if I'm somewhere in there, I'm happy.
Yeah. Whenever I go on stage, I usually open up the show and I go and I'll say something about my appearance. And it's kind of one of those things where you're like, yeah, I'm glad it gets a laugh. And then I'm like, it's kind of fucked up though, that they actually think I look like, because I'll always be like, everybody came out of the pandemic looking pretty good. I came out looking like the dude who gave Jenny AIDS and Forrest Gump. And they're just like, and I'm just like, yeah. And then I'm like, fuck, do I really look that shitty? Holy Christ. Yeah.
Here, please.
Yeah, exactly. Can someone check me out? Do they think I'm a drug addict? Holy fuck. But it's nice though. It takes a long time to get it like looking like fucking awesome. Because Tom was, what'd you say, 7 stages of ugly?
Yeah, the 7 stages are ugly. There's a long road to get to great hair, and you gentlemen have made it to the other side.
What am I, about 11? I'm at about 11. Right?
Redefining stages as we speak. If it wasn't for these 18 ring lights.
Yes, yes. You know what? It's funny, the little app that we're using, I mean, the professional app that we're all joining our lives together via video. It says as a warning right before you get on, like, lighting will make you look better. And luckily the other day I went out and I got this $30 ring light thing. So if you do it, it either looks like I'm on that scene from Basic Instinct where Karen, whatever, is crossing and uncrossing. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We were waiting for you to start crossing and uncrossing your legs.
Yes,
we had a similar incident like that not too long ago, with a gentleman who decided to bear all. And
come on now.
Oh, swear to dude. So we'll say this on air.
You have Steve from Smash Mouth on. What was going on there?
No, but
we were doing this is the worst part, dude. We were doing a benefit, a 24-hour live stream benefit for the MS Society. So we were streaming live on their page as well, not platform. Even just on ours, on their platform as well on Twitch. And Mike Cosgrove was on at like 2 to.
Love tossing names out there. Go on.
I don't give a fuck. We almost got us banned off the goddamn channel, man. So he's on there with us or whatever. It's like, thank God it's like 3 o'clock in the morning and there's not really anybody awake. And out of the fucking blue, dude, he just all of a sudden, I kind of out of my peripheral, there's like 4 of us on screen. I noticed him kind of fucking around with the camera and angling it down. just drops trow and fucking, you know, whatever. And
Come on,
Tom,
this is a family show.
yeah,
waves it around.
we're a little scarred. Thank God there was 4 dudes in the room where we were just kind of like, hey, that was a thing, wasn't it? Holy fuck. Woo, that was fucking close.
Best of real. Right?
Yeah, the sad part is that I do have that footage, and I'm like, what do you even do with it?
Besides, watch it nightly.
I'm like, I wish he was more famous. We could have gotten some press out of it, but it doesn't even matter. No, it doesn't even fucking matter. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Are you excited? But that's awesome, dude, that you guys are actually getting together and you're able to go back out. Have you been back out a lot since last couple of months?
Yeah, we've started doing the flyout dates, and actually, let's see. I'm trying to think of when the last time we were on the bus. Well, actually, the last time we were on the bus was right before Christmas of last year, and that was about the time that the I forget what, like Omicron, you know, version 18.3. we all got it.
Oh,
So we all came home, and it was like, show for friends and family, and boom, like the next day or two, we started having to send out these texts saying, "Oh man, I've got it," and yeah, so do I, and so yeah, we don't want any more of that.
No,
obviously, no one does, but
right.
But certainly, when you're getting on a bus, you know, I equate it to riding around in a giant petri dish. I mean, it's just a petri dish on wheels, and you never quite know, you know, through no fault of anyone's own, really, what you're going to come in contact with, and then certainly you do the best you can do, but you also are trying to have somewhat of a sense of normalcy now. And you just don't know from really one week to the next, okay, where is there another paradigm shift occurring before our eyes? And you just don't know it until it's sort of like, oh no, I just got the test back. And so, yeah, we're going to get out there, and we're going to rock, and we're going to be out, I think, a month and a half on the bus.
Nice.
So it's nice, but it's also a month and a half of a moving petri dish. So
right. Yeah, man.
And yeah, but we're playing all of the big, you know, the big bucket list kind of places, like playing Greek theater out in LA.
Nice.
Which is a favorite of mine. Red Rocks out in beautiful Colorado, which
that's awesome.
Played, which I'm really looking forward to. And then, like, even, you know, like Central Park, you know, I don't exactly know how that's going to be work. I mean, I don't know if we're going to actually have the exact spot that Simon and Garfunkel stood.
Right.
Park, but but we'll be in Central Park somewhere, maybe behind a hot dog stand. Or something.
The guy screaming about knishes on 3:30 in the afternoon.
Exactly.
All right, not bad, not bad. I've seen better. Yeah, that's great, man. The Last Summer on Earth name, you guys did that even before you knew there was going to be a pandemic. Is it kind of like who came up with the name, first of all?
I believe that is a Barenaked ladies invention, and nice. I don't think that they knew how on par with that name, for better or worse, that name really was going to be when they came up with it. I think if they had thought better of it, maybe they would have said, you know, guys, how about just World Tour?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, one of my friends was like,
just have that, you know, changing the day, the year as we go along. But
yeah, one of my friends was like, oh, that's really clever. They did that after COVID, and I was like, no, that was before. They knew.
Yeah, no, it was, and you know, truthfully, along the way, you hear more than your share of sort of, you know, gallows humor about the name of the tour.
Yeah,
but what can you do about it? I mean, it was something that was invented long before, you know, I'm sure even we knew what the word COVID was.
Absolutely,
you know?
Yeah.
Unless one of the people in Barenaked Ladies works in Wuhan and had an idea.
Now, now we have come full circle, really,
Yes.
or not.
This is a whole side of the lab leak theory no one's ever thought about before. It's nice to shift the blame to the Barenaked ladies. I'm sure they can bear the weight.
Well, we haven't seen them in a while. They're still over in Canada, I think.
That's true. They were the last. I saw them with Hootie. That was the last concert I saw before COVID hit. So who knows?
And all roads lead to Hootie.
Yeah, Mike. Let's just drag everybody's name into it. We can.
I'm gonna do whatever I can to get fired today. So
that's what we like to do on this show. We like to make sure we end a career by the end of the episode. Yeah, man, it's just awesome though. You know what's crazy too is like people don't realize that like because we have to book this stuff in advance. I swear to God, like I'll book a bunch of shows, and by the time it's ready for me to go back out, a new variant fucking hits, and I have to cancel those shows. And people get pissed, and you're like, I'm not fucking doing it on purpose, man. It takes it like you cancel a gig because of COVID, and everybody gets shifted down like weeks and months. So it's hard to figure out when it's gonna hit.
It's true. I mean, the planning. Let's just put it this way: if I was a tour manager or a manager, I think this is where, like, for me, it would be like, okay, game over. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go find something a lot less stressful to do.
Yeah.
Because like we went from, gosh, we were playing 120, 130 shows a year. And I think over the 2-year span that COVID proper was really taking hold of the world, we did like 16 shows or something.
Oh,
wow.
You know, crazy like that. And so, you know, the number of people that it affects, not only from obviously from a health standpoint, from a job standpoint, psychological standpoint, you know, it just all those articles that you heard and read about, well, how does this affect, you know, live music, and then, you know, for a while there, I was telling this Uber driver the other day, I said, remember that weekend that they tried drive-in shows, you know, like, hey, let's get in our car and let's go drive in and see a concert. And for a little while there, we were all cringing, thinking, oh my God, this is what it's going to come to.
Yeah.
Like we're going to, like, our audience is going to be trapped in their own, you know, Pinto or whatever. I'm not saying our audience drives Pintos.
I was like, that's a very specific audience, but I like
maybe
it.
They do.
Yeah. Who knows? We're actually being sponsored by Pinto. So if we can just take a minute, just to give an appetite. Yeah, it is weird. Like I went to I mean, I did some stand-up shows and stuff like that, or tried to do some weird shit when this first started. And I can't tell you, man, the dread of thinking that people were going to want to come in their cars and honk instead of laugh. I was like, I'll fucking quit. I'll bag groceries for it's out.
Well, and that I think was sort of, we weren't saying we were going to quit, but it was certainly demoralizing to think, well, is this all there, you know, it's like that song, is that all there is? I mean, it's like, you know, we were doing some virtual shows, and I still don't understand what that word really means, virtual shows, because it was a show, but it wasn't like a real show in any traditional sense. Like we didn't have an audience. We were in a studio, and you know, it was just odd. It was just really odd for a couple of years. So
did you get on like this at all and try to, you know, connect with your own fan base?
Yeah, I've done a few of these, and no one's, you know, complained too much yet. So, but there's always today.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's frustrating as shit. I'm glad it's kind of getting back to whatever. Because I even remember being freaked out. I went to see a drive-in movie when I thought it was. I mean, you know, when it was like, I guess whenever they told us it was safe randomly, and like, I'm not gonna sit in my car. I'm gonna sit on the fucking roof of my car, and you know, whatever. And it was me and another comedy buddy of mine, and she and I were just sitting around or whatever. And I remember at one point thinking though, like, oh my God, everybody's sitting out in the car. Am I gonna get it? And I'm like, why am I nervous? I'm outside in an open fucking field. Like, you just didn't know. And it was, yeah, but it was just fucking nerve wracking no matter what you were doing.
Agreed. And I love movies. More specifically, I love the popcorn.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I would just go into the theater, eat my popcorn, and then say, "Okay, time to go. I gotta get the hell out of here before I catch COVID."
Yeah.
So, because I just there's something about being in a theater and even for 20 minutes just absorbing that atmosphere that it was sort of just taken away from all of us in one way or the other. The simple things, really.
Yeah.
Not to mention the big things like being in the hospital or whatever.
Oh God, I know.
But,
I remember for a hot.
right.
Okay. No, I was gonna say I remember for like a hot second when like we all got vaxxed and we thought like, yay, no more masks, whatever. I felt like Buzz Lightyear when Woody hits his thing and his thing pops up and he's like gasping for air and it's like, wait, I can still breathe. This is nice, But yeah,
John, the Boy in the Plastic Bubble.
Yeah.
Ultra movie.
Absolutely, man. It's all weird. And now Mike Tyson smacking the shit out of people on the airplane. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean that to me is a sense that we're all getting back to normal.
That's the sign. It's like a light. They're gonna have like a little light up sign of him on an airplane now. It's gonna be like the no smoking sign, and then it's just gonna be Mike Tyson being the shit. And now we can take off our masks.
I wanted to know how that guy. Did you see the footage of the individual that got pummeled?
Yeah.
The stuff before he got pummeled.
Yes.
No.
I wanted to know how he got in that section anyway. He looked like he snuck up there.
Absolutely, man. That's what I was thinking too. And I was like, there's no way that fucking guy belongs. Like, also, why would you antagonize the shit out of Mike Tyson of all people? Yeah, exactly. And I
like a complete setup.
Oh, yeah. When they were like Mike Tyson punched somebody in the airplane, and I'd be like, was there a hole in the airplane after that?
Right.
Like, there's no way Mike Tyson punches somebody and that guy, like, as soon as they were like, what did they say? Where the guy was like, oh, he talked to reporters afterward. I'm like, yeah, he didn't get hit by Mike Tyson. No, when there was no hole-shaped man thing, and when he was hanging onto the wing afterward, no, that didn't happen.
I think it sounds to me as though Tyson's publicist was filming it anyway.
Yeah.
I've got my theories on it.
I hear you, man. It's a weird way. I feel you, man. Sometimes half of this shit, you're like, it's a weird way to get press, but I wouldn't put it past anybody.
Oh, of course not. Why not?
And the best part is, I'm going to clip this entire section and play the Mike Tyson clip while we talk about it, because I am now piqued my interest.
So I was like, no, I did not see the whole thing. I know they're only showing you like a small part of it, but you can find the whole thing. Yeah, there's even like a video at the Oscars of Will Smith whispering in Chris Rock's ear back. No, I'm just kidding. There's nothing like that. But I would love to start that rumor,
right?
Just for the hell of it.
Why not?
Lindsay
said, "Did Mike Tyson do a like and subscribe after this?"
Good idea.
That'd be great.
I love the way that just popped in like that. That was.
Appreciate it. We
got all the special effects here.
Positive comments coming from you.
I tried to put a green screen behind me, and it didn't look right. I wanted to have like a piano in the background. And
nice. Yep. I like the Curb Your Enthusiasm poster though. That's fucking sick.
I do too. Thank you.
You said it so begrudgingly though. Yeah.
No, I do too. I'm proud of that one.
Yeah, that's a cool one, man. How did you handle the pandemic? Were you like cool the first couple of months? Were you like, you know what, I could use the break, fuck it, or like, did you do some creative shit? Like, how was that?
Well, okay, so that's a really good question. I originally thought, okay, well, I'm going to take this time to do what every musician says they would like to do, which is build a studio.
Oh,
so
nice.
I started looking into building a studio and realizing there's no amount of money that I can really sink into this, nor time. Mm-hmm. And I don't know when we're all going to go back to work and get on a plane and get on a bus. So sadly, that idea was scrapped. And, time just has a way of slipping into the future. Before you know it, all the plans that you had thought looked good on paper during your downtime, suddenly you don't have downtime anymore. and you're getting emails from the manager saying, okay, well, looks like, you know, we're doing this run in April, or doing this run in February or whatever. And all of a sudden you're back on a bus.
Yeah.
So it would have been nice to be able to do that. But probably, I think it was probably a good thing that it didn't happen, because like I said, there are just so many, it seems like everybody's got a studio, and they're all small, and they're all run by really proficient musicians who know what they're doing. And certainly I could go and invest in the equipment, but that doesn't mean that there's not a learning curve to all of that.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you had of course a very near and dear to my heart musician, drummer / composer, producer on a couple weeks ago, and you know, that's all he's spent in his downtime is running a studio and making music and so forth. So it doesn't happen overnight,
right?
And I think that it's very, very encouraging, and very like, you look at it and you say, I wish, you know, that could be something that I would really love to do. But at the same time, it's like, well, you know, how can I actually put the time together to really learn it?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
aren't you like, how did he find the time to do this and organize getting the people to come over? And
I mean, it helps if you are Stuart Copeland, because then you can call anybody in the world and have them come over. And, but
just dropping names like crazy.
But the thing is, like, you know, like when like I recall, if I'm not mistaken, I think like The Equalizer was one of the first, the Equalizer TV show.
Yeah.
I think it was like 82 or 83 or something. And then Wall Street with Michael Douglas. So he's been doing it a while.
Yes.
And so all of the stuff that you hear now is just it's the fruition of all of those years of hard work and you know, making all of the you know, learning on the fly, sort of. For him, I know that a lot of it was just getting in and diving in and teaching himself certain things about composing, and then studying with the best and learning from the best. And, you know, so anyway, getting back to the pandemic, I don't think I had enough time to really do that, but it would have been nice. You know? Not to say I want another pandemic to.
But a mini one wouldn't be too bad to just clean up the rest of the shit, you know. It'd be like when you had like a week off from school for a snow day, and then you're like, you know, I didn't get everything I wanted done, but one more blizzard, you know, it wouldn't be too bad. Just need like a week and a half, and then I'll be good.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but it's crazy. I know what you think. You ever, like, sometimes I think, like, you know, oh man, life is fucking way too long. You know what I mean? Obviously, it depends on how you look at it. But I'm not kidding.
You're the only person ever.
Hold on. No. Life is short and long at the same time, right? All the good stuff is super short, never lasts long enough. It's almost like a blip in the eye. And then, you know, but when you're going through boring shit, sometimes you're like, holy fucking shit, this is going to take me another. Like, I always think of marriage that way. I know you're married. I don't know if you're married, Scott, or anything like that. I'm still single because I'm holding out strong. But I think of it like that, where like, if you're with the wrong person, man, that's a long, like, I never understood my friends who got married when they were like 20. And I'm like, you know, you're going to live, our generation in particular has got like a good 100 years probably. That's a long fucking time. And people will be like, nah, you're ridiculous. And now they're divorced. Whatever.
But maybe that was a choice, a very thought out choice. Because now you're like, all right, if I choose a girl that makes me miserable, the days will feel way longer.
Doesn't even have to make you miserable
time in life.
Good. Doesn't even have to make you miserable in the present. Could be years later. Anyway, but that's not my point. Was like, you know, it can seem long, but when you think about the culmination of stuff that you kind of, you know, all the skills that you acquire over a long period of time, how long it takes you to get to a place, how long it maybe takes you to get kind of centered or like really good at the thing you've been perfecting over a long period of time. It's like, fuck, you don't have, you know, by the time you get all that, it's kind of like, wow, I wish I could take all that and live another 80, you know, healthy 80 years or something like that. It's crazy. It seems like everybody kind of, it takes a long time to get to a good place like that. I don't know. I thought I had a point, but I don't actually.
No, you know, there's an interesting somebody look up this quote, and pop in with your little message on the video there. But it has to do with something like if you practice something long enough, it takes so long before you can be considered to be adept at any specific skill. So any specific skill set that you're looking to acquire, it takes so long, and then you can say, okay, well, I'm sort of an expert at it.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe even that quote, I'm not.
Sean and Kel was correct.
1,000 hours. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's 10,000 hours.
10,000
Malcolm
hours.
Gladwell. Yeah, they say you're a professional after 10,000 hours. And if you equate it, you know how people say on a resume, they want 5 years experience? 5 years experience over, that's 50 weeks times 40 hours a week. Bang, hits your 10,000 hours. And that's why they request it.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. Or if you're on a bus. But
yeah, it is crazy to think about that, because as soon as you said that stuff about Stuart Copeland and how he basically, you know, anybody else would be like, oh man, yeah, that guy just built himself a studio and now he's got all these. It's like, no, that was a long career. That took a long time to all.
Yeah, and if you look at pictures of his original studio, it wasn't unlike you know, what I had, for instance, in my little studio in 1981, except we were all on this level playing field as far as equipment was concerned. We didn't have digital this, and, you know, the preamps weren't this, or they were sort of out of the range of most cost. They were cost prohibitive, a lot of the equipment. And now anybody can own, you know, GarageBand or, you know, whatever, and they can get the same sort of sounds in a small environment. They don't have to go to a studio where, you know, you pay $150 an hour or whatever it is. I don't even know the going rate for a good studio now. But the point is that back then, it was really just about being on sort of like the ground floor with things, and then just sort of seeing it through. And so Stuart Copeland, certainly, you know, he has the musicality to be able to take the vision of what he was trying to shoot for. And, you know, he had the talent and he had the ability to play other instruments. He, you know, one of the biggest piece of advices he gives to young drummers is learn how to play guitar. Yeah. Wow. And learn how to be a songwriter, and learn what it means to own publishing. Right. Good advice. Those are things that usually go right over any drummer's head. You know, they more often than not, a drummer simply wants to know, okay, well, how can I do this rudiment faster or whatnot? And you know, that stuff's important too. Don't get me wrong, but all of that other stuff that that guys like Stuart Copeland and guys like me try to impart to younger drummers is learn about the things that fall, you know, between the cracks, like you know, just how to say good morning to your tour manager, right? Or how to don't slam a door if you're on a bus. Yeah. Or you know, just the simple things that will keep you probably in work or you know, working for a band a lot longer than if you were to be the fastest drummer on the corner. Yeah. Yeah. Did it take you I mean, I don't even know if this is the right way to phrase it, but like, you know, you're talking about building a studio, the time it takes, but let's say investing in yourself, right? Did you ever feel like, you know, maybe you wouldn't do that kind of stuff because it wasn't, you weren't in the right place at the right time to
maybe take that leap or do it like how did you get over that, or what point maybe in your career where you're like, you know what, at this point I'm worth taking these risks, financially to better my own, craft and everything else?
Well, okay, so certainly I must credit my dear parents for taking that leap of faith in me. Get choked up here, but they were the ones who bought me the Simmons SDS 7s when in 1985 or whatever it was.
Nice.
They were the ones who sold stocks to make sure that I had the tools, even though I was a 17-year-old kid who was just dreaming,
Yeah.
I just had my dreams, and I knew what I wanted to do, but I was 17 years old. I didn't have a fully formed brain.
Right.
Like how could I possibly know, how to walk through what door and be in what place at what time? I didn't have any idea, but my parents believed in me, and they saw in me that I was serious, and that I did have a passion, and that I did have a dream. And they I think to this day live vicariously through me. I mean, I will get my folks are 86 and 83, and even though we're like, I have actually added them to our little itinerary, our electronic itinerary. My mom will look up where the hotel is going to be for that day, and she'll send me like little notes on where I'm going to be staying. And it's wonderful,
That's beautiful.
That is wonderful. Were they musically inclined?
No, my folks weren't. I came from a musical family. I think my mom's, let's see, I always get this wrong. My mom's great aunt or great aunt was this woman named Kitty Wells, who was the queen of country music. More #1 records than any other female country music singer in the 50s.
Wow.
Her name is even in the actual movie Coal Miner's Daughter. Loretta Lynn cites her as being like, if there was no Kitty Wells, there would be no Loretta Lynn.
Wow.
So, having said that, does that have any bearing on me? No. But it does mean that my parents always, or especially my mother, she always had a very fond appreciation for music and being around musicians. Like she grew up playing in the backyards of the front yards of all these Grand Ole Opry cats,
Nice.
Nashville, Tennessee, where she was from. So yeah, I think that probably helped along the way. Sure.
Yeah, because you knew it was feasible. It's an attainable dream. As opposed to like a lot of people's parents are like, stop gazing at the stars and get a job.
Well, there was that too.
They're still saying that to me.
But yeah, I was going to say I still get that every once in a while. Walmart's hiring. No.
What's crazy is when the pandemic hit, how quickly other people were ready to give up on your dream. Like I had people go, they're like, "What are you gonna do now? It's all over for you." And I'm like, "Fuck, I guess, yeah." Like
it's true, and all you can say to that is, just I don't know what to say. I just try to say, okay, look, to sound like a TV commercial, you do you, and I'm gonna do me, and let's see how this works out.
How weird would it be to have
it's still, everything still remains a dream. Some and in a good way. Like it's still surreal to me that after all these years, I can even be sitting here with you guys talking about going out on tour in a month and a half and playing Red Rocks. I mean,
yeah, man.
For me, not every drummer, not every musician gets to say those words.
Yeah.
And I say it every single interview or chat that I do, that there are so many more musicians and drummers out there that are far better. They're far on levels that I just throw my hands up. I say, I flip through Instagram and I see all these drummers and I say, not this guy. I like have fun with all that, but I can't, like, that's above my pay grade. I can't do it, but I can be this drummer for this band in this particular thing. And I can do it. And I've done it for like almost 11 years now.
Yeah, man.
Longest tenured Gin Blossoms drummer.
I was just going to say, I saw that article, man. That's fantastic.
Yes.
What do you have on the other members of the band? I'm just kidding.
I mean, you want to name a category? No, I'm kidding.
You're like, it's all in a lockbox.
No.
You know what's crazy? I was gonna say, how weird would it be to have to go get a regular job and then go to apply your resume, and there's this 20-year gap in regular work. You know what I mean? Where you're
that
like,
would be the best resume ever. He would write.
You mean reality? You mean what was it like before I got a call from Robin Wilson? In 2010 or whatever. Well, I'll tell you exactly how it was. So I was playing in a band, of course, and a fantastic band here in Phoenix. We had just spent literally 2 or 3 years making a record. I mean, it was one of those records that to this day I listen to it and it's fantastic. Okay.
Nice.
Get done with that. And then what happens to most bands after they spend 2 or 3 years on a record, they're toast. I mean, and that's sort of what happened with this band. It was just the energy had sort of just sadly had dropped. So even though I had a profuse fear of flying, I started making out resumes to become a flight attendant.
Wow.
Oh shit.
And I was submitting my resumes to a couple of airlines, one in particular, and I was getting ready to go become a flight. I was going to go attempt to become a flight attendant with that 20-year gap in whatever you're talking about. They wouldn't have hired me. I would have been rejected. But the point is, the effort was there.
Yes. Was that?
But anyway, then I got a call. Then I got a call from Robin Wilson, and my number was up.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Wow.
What was that? Wait, I gotta ask. Was that to shake your fear of flying, or you just was like, "Fuck it, I just want to do it anyway"?
Oh no, it was called desperation.
Oh, okay, all right. I was like,
I didn't want to fly. In fact,
I never thought about that. I was like, that's a good way to shake your fear. Like, fuck it, I'm afraid. I'm gonna get it. No, you're like, no, it's not.
No, I had a friend actually. You would be rad at that job. Thank you, John Leiter. You have a good sense of humor. No, I had a friend or have a friend who works for Southwest Airlines, the Love airline, I believe. And she said, well, I'll write you a letter. And I was like, okay, well, what could go wrong? So I was going to do it. And then, man, I just lucked out. My time literally came up. I like to say that I manifested the Gin Blossoms thing, but it truly, I remember when they were on the cover of Musician magazine and they were on Letterman, and every time I would see them, I would record their performances on my VHS, and I would mark it VHS Letterman June 1st, whatever. And meanwhile, I would have such incredible like love and envy for them, and at the same time I hated them.
Yeah.
Because I said I deserve that Jim Blossom's drumming position.
Nice.
And then for it to years later, somehow, some way, it came in my direction. You know, what I tell people is, you know, right place, right time, and you got to be ready.
Yes. Solid. Did you saw the VHS tapes?
Oh yes.
Nice.
I'm not sure if what's on them, but yeah. I do have them.
That's great. Were they? What was it? Do you remember like the first band that like really kind of like ignited your passion for performing? Like where you're like, I want to do that.
Well, without again sounding like a broken record. All right. Instead of naming like the Police,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll tell you that the first record that I heard where I said I would love to be a drummer, and hearing it on a record daily was this record by Tom Jones called Live at the Talk of the Town.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Now, it's I think it's like an out of print record, maybe not, I don't know. But, and I'm not even sure who the drummer is, but just amazing drumming, amazing, like just big band. The arrangements are fantastic. And the drumming is just out of this world. I mean, it's just like, it's stuff that I wish I could do. You know, maybe I could do it, you know, if I practiced, but it was, I mean, that was one of the first things that I remember hearing as a child and thinking, okay, that.
Wow.
And then flash forward years later, I remember hearing One World Is Enough, and hearing the between the sound of the hi-hat, of Stuart Copeland's hi-hat, and then the crack of the snare drum. That's when I was like, okay, sonically, this is registering on some sort of visceral level that forget drumming. It's hitting me someplace up here that I can't explain. And so I remember sitting in my friend's Bronco in high school, and he was playing like an 8-track tape or something. And he was like, let me play you this. And I was like, that's it. I'm hooked. And so I think it was around 16. And then by 17, I had told Pepperdine University, thanks, but no thanks. Yeah, so from there, it sort of just went in the direction of being, you know, trying to be in a band and be what you see today.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Where did you go to high school, man? Where were you born?
I was born in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
I moved to Arizona in 74, and I went to a Catholic, a Jesuit Catholic high school called Brophy College Preparatory.
Okay.
Wow.
And yeah, that they don't turn out many Jim Blossom's drummers, at least in my knowledge.
Well, no, I lived in Tempe, Arizona. When I was a kid. Yeah. And my aunt and uncle went to either the same high school as the Gin Blossoms guy, like everybody from the Gin Blossoms, or their rival high school, I think it was. But they used to when they used to play locally and stuff like that, they would go.
Yeah. So what year was that?
Oh my God. Let's see. I was 1990, something like that.
So yeah, you were right there at the what do they call that?
Inception.
Yeah. And it was crazy, man. And that's one of the things I always remembered, because I was just like, I mean, nobody came out of Tempe that I know of anyway.
Did you get alongs a lot?
No, I was a kid. I mean, I was there. I went to like Rover Elementary School. That's I was 4 years old. I was between jobs living with my parents.
You didn't say getting alongs at 4?
I was at 4. You know, I was hanging out all the cool clubs and shit, and you know, I was. You know what's crazy? My uncle, because you know, I guess people were freaked out by people with long hair back then still too. My uncle had about the same hair length you did, and he picked me up from school once, and he was walking me home, and this woman, like some kid's mother, like pulled up alongside of us in a truck, and she was like, "John, do you know this man?" And for whatever reason, I just wouldn't respond. And my uncle was like, "Tell her you know me." And I was like, "Nope." And it was like at the peak of that, like dudes with long hair are like psychotic, and you know they're like strangers. And he was like, "Tell her I'm your uncle." I was like, "Don't feel like it."
Well, we were not allowed. I mean, this right here would have gotten me. They would have actually probably taken a butcher knife and just chopped my hair off.
Oh man!
Wow.
I mean, they did crazy things there at Brophy, like when your mustache was starting to come in, and if you hadn't shaved yet, shaved,
yeah.
They would just take they would make you go to the thing and dry shave it.
Oh
wow.
my
So that
God.
was your initiate. Yeah. So yes. And if your shoestrings were undone, they would come by and they would have like a knife, and they would just trim them for you because, of course, you didn't remember to tie your shoes.
Wow.
Wow. Holy fuck.
Jesuits.
Yeah. How'd you escape that?
You know, believe it or not, I actually, this is going to sound, maybe I'm a sadist, but the Jesuits were actually quite fantastic as far as they opened up a lot of avenues as far as thinking. They kind of taught me like everything that I thought that I knew, that I thought that I would know about going to a Catholic high school. And by the way, I'm not even Catholic, but I just wanted a good education, and so that was the school to go to.
Right.
Anyway, they did it through a lot of fear, but other than that, they did it through just challenging the student to. Well, this all of a sudden doesn't seem very rock and roll, but they forced you to think on your own, and despite the dry razor shaving and
yeah, I don't have a good razor story, but I was one of those kids. I'm
as
Italian.
well you shouldn't.
No, yeah, thank you. But I'm Italian, and I remember in 7th grade. When you're younger and you're Italian, you're dark skinned, you know what I mean? I didn't have like the greatest hair. I was a kid. I was 7th grade, but I had that like too early mustache thing coming. You know what I mean? Where people, people can tell whatever. So first of all, ethnically, people didn't know what I was. Didn't matter what I was. You know what I mean? But I was just like that weird. I was that weird olive skinned kid. You know what I mean? Who like kind of looks old. He's got a mustache coming. And out of the blue, I remember the teacher like comparing, like talking about. She was trying to like loop everybody together, but it wasn't working really well. And she was just like, so and so looks like this. Poveromo looks like a terrorist. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, where did that? And I think she was like going for unity, but I was like, well, that's going to haunt me for the rest of my goddamn fucking.
Get my lawyer on the phone.
Yeah, but I was like, why is it? Because I have like a half of a mustache thing coming in or something like that? And she was like, everything. The whole look is really disturbing. I was like, fuck. Yeah.
You should have been like, wait till you see me in 2022.
Oh boy! Right? Wait till you see all of us in 2022.
Yeah. Oh my God! Do you remember? So let's. Speaking of rock and roll shit, do you remember like a lavish thing that you bought? Like, let's say, like you're in the Gin Blossoms, you're making a shit ton of money. Did you spend foolishly at one point?
Wait, I'm waiting for his other guest. What kind of now I know we got it all messed up.
Everybody's got I should not have bought that story. I don't care at what point in your career. You know what I mean?
Okay, I can tell you what I shouldn't have bought. These things. I can pick it up right now for you.
Oh, the Oculus. Not loving it?
The jury is still out. I'll tell you what I enjoy on it. I enjoy watching the immersive. I've been watching The Sopranos for the 85th time, but it puts you in a theater surrounding. So like I've done it. I busted it out on a plane a couple of times just to sort of get some, whatever. Like I not that I'm even people are looking at me because I have no idea, but it's gotta. I know I'm going to end up on one of those sites like, hey, look at this jackass. But anyway,
I never thought of bringing it on a plane before. I would love it if you just lost yourself on like a roller coaster virtual reality ride and just started shifting in your seat violently.
Well, okay, so not to get all nerdy, but because the Oculus has this tracking feature, unless you have, because the plane is moving, the tracking is thrown off. So you keep having to adjust manually where the Oculus is sort of, where it's pointing.
like where your location is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so there are times when the thing is just spinning around and around and around, and you're like in a theater that's like, you feel like you're on, some sort of
acid.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I almost got one of those for free. I was supposed to do a show in Vegas before Omicron hit, and it's a virtual reality stand-up show where you do it live for 15 minutes. You go in the back of the room, you put the Oculus shit on, and then they've got one of those. Have you seen those portal things that they have that they're advertising? Where like something, whatever you can take. You take a 3D image, you can take a piece of art from another part of the world, and like it pops up in this little fucking phone booth type of thing. But so I would go in the back room, put that on, and a cartoon version of me would appear in the portal. But I would appear.
What did you think of that?
I didn't get to do that. I've been in it, and I didn't get to do it because it got canceled because of Omicron. But I performed virtually like that before. It's not bad. It's a little weird, but if you just adjust to the timing of it, because you're still kind of like, I think there's still like a little bit of a delay. You know what I mean? So it's a little weird. Sure. Yeah, but it's a little weird. But other than that, I think it's fucking cool as shit to come back, like put a thing on and appear somewhere else as a cartoon version of yourself. That's my dream.
Well, we have been discussing the possibility of doing this in a virtual, like a dystopia in a virtual platform. So if Scott wants to be a guest, we might have to
I would like to come back for this.
Okay, dude. You could. I'm not even kidding you. The guy is going to build us like a virtual dystopia studio to do a special show with the Oculus. Let's do it.
Totally cool.
Virtual high five.
Virtual
high five.
Boom
with it.
Love it.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Did you see about to say Pearl Jam movie, the Foo Fighters movie, the Pearl Jam high five? Yeah.
Yeah, man. That was great. Yeah. Absolutely. Are you guys like? That's a good question because here's what I want to know: when you guys go out on the road and it's you, Toe the Witch Rocket, Barenaked Ladies, is it just constant? Are you guys just fucking around the whole time? You've been friends forever? Is it like, or do you guys like, who's the guy who has to take the footage of the road trip? Or is there anybody that does that? Or you guys just,
Yeah, that's a good question. For this time out, a lot of those things. Well, for me, I don't know that I know. Let's see. I'm trying to think if I have personally played with Toad maybe once or twice. I know that the Gym Blossoms proper have played with Toad many times.
Okay.
Barenaked maybe a couple of times, but I don't recall playing with them. So for me, it's going to be like a whole new bunch of cast of characters, and it's not only going to be the bands, but it's going to be the crew. The crew members, it's going to be the tour managers, it's going to be all that stuff. So you're going to find out in a month and a half. Listen, I'm like Switzerland. I get along with everybody and I love everybody, and I don't ever see issues like that come up. But there are times, oh boy, I shouldn't have said that. There are times on other tours where it doesn't always work out like that, and so you have to certainly be on guard, like, okay, who's getting along with so and so, but as far as what was the second part, like taking
video footage, like who's posterity,
a lot of that I enjoy doing because I like I like capturing I used to like capturing photos for Instagram, and now it seems like the metrics of Instagram have changed to where it's all TikTok reels.
Oh, dude, it's fucking obnoxious, man. And to have to keep up with doing that kind of stuff, I finally begrudgingly started doing it because I was pushed into it. You got to keep up.
Well, and I don't want to do that.
I know.
I take my pictures of like the lobby, the 4:30 lobby call with all of us looking bleary eyed. Like that to me. Now we're gonna have to do it in like, like the 4:30 a.m. lobby call challenge, like musicians challenge. Like, how many times are we gonna see this shit? Right?
I know, dude. It's so fucked up how homogenous it is, but everybody's still like, if you don't do it, you're just fucking left out of it.
Well, it's like, is it fear of what's it called?
FOMO, fear of missing out.
YOLO, and then there's FOMO.
FOMO, yeah.
And I think it like this is more like I don't know what this is. It's like foaming at the mouth. It's just like it's just the same content over and over again.
Yep. It's bullshit.
Something new.
I have FONMO, which is fear of not missing out. If I feel like I'm involved in too many things, I'm like,
there you go.
I'd rather be at home. Yeah, it's weird, man. I don't like I'm envious sometimes of how good bad artists are at editing. You know what I mean? Like when you see somebody who's like, you're like, God, that person fucking sucks when you see them live, but on the internet they're like, quick cut, and they do all this shit or whatever, and I'm just like, why can't I do that? Because I fucking suck at that. I'm terrible at that. I never know the right song. They're like, oh, this song is trending, and I'm like, do you have anything by the Turtles or anything? But it's
Play Me, Flo, and Eddie.
Exactly. And they're like, why would you pick that? I'm like, because it's a beautiful song. Like, I don't know.
Are Flo and Eddie from Jersey?
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you, by the way. That was nice tossing it out to my state.
Gotta keep that in mind for Wonder Bar.
my dad's from East Brunswick.
Oh, nice, man. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah. I grew up in Toms River, and I live in LBI now.
Okay. Well,
yeah. Well, there you're like, I don't care.
Well,
I don't know why I rarely ever say those two names of like people actually know, but you threw out East Brunswick and it ignited something in me, and I was like, I'm gonna also share places.
I just think of turnpikes and is it turnpike? What
Garden
is the
State Parkway?
Yeah.
Yes, parkways and the turnpikes. Turning
jug handles
right to go left.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody
Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. All the good, all the stuff that causes early deaths in New Jersey. Turning lanes and Dunkin' Donuts is what kills off everybody here. I wish I was joking, but that's the fucking truth. There was just an accident, not like 3 hours ago, because somebody hit the wrong side of the toll booth and just flipped his car over. He's fine. Oh, wow. But I'm like, it's toll booth. It's all gonna wind up. Somebody told me this bullshit. It has to be bullshit. I never even bothered to look it up. But they were like, oh yeah, I don't even know why this would be like even like a fun fact you would make up. But they're like, oh, the jug handles in New Jersey are actually old Indian hunting trails. It's just like, what kind of a fucking moron Native American would be hauling ass after a buffalo and go, wait, guys, we got to make this quick turn. And then we go after it. It's going to throw them off. Hunting trails, my ass. Like, this is stupid. I don't know. Anyway, are you guys going to be in New Jersey or no?
Me?
Yeah, you guys going to come to the East Coast on the tour?
It was funny because your eyes were going that way. I was like, oh.
No, yeah.
You know what? It seems like we're always in Jersey. You know what? Let's check. Let's go to
I'll check for you. Don't worry. I'm gonna pull up the tour for you real fast.
Yeah, I would love. I mean, I think you guys were supposed. That's where I got the tickets. I think you guys were.
Feels like is Homedale in Jersey?
Yep,
Homedale is New Jersey. It's PNC.
Absolutely, PNC, man. That's where all the good shit happens.
There you go.
I think. Oh man, I think you were probably.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm wrong?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. I was like, where else is there another Homedale?
Lewiston, is that?
That's New York. Yep, I think that's upstate New York.
Upstate.
That's July 5th.
Quite a hike.
Well, then why am I on this? You guys.
Yeah, no, it's
Philadelphia, PA, July 12th. We might be able to
Yes.
do that one. That would be a cool one.
So we're playing like what is it? The Met?
Yep, the Met.
Yeah.
That's
So
gonna be
I
awesome.
mean, honestly, this is going to be a fun.
Did you
tour.
play with? I saw you guys when God, my friend turned 21 at Jenkinson's in Point Pleasant. Were you there? I think you were with the band then.
Jenkinson's.
Yeah, in Point Pleasant. It's like a little rock.
Is that the name of a band? Jenkinson's.
We have weird names for our beach clubs.
It's a really good gospel group that we played with one night. No, we're the Jenkinson family. Let's bring them on out.
The whitest fucking people you ever seen.
How long ago was that?
Oh my God. Over, I think about, I don't know. Yeah, that was a little over 10 years ago. So you said you've been with the band 11. That was before.
That might have been right on the
cusp. Yeah, it's a good club, man. That was fucking awesome. What do you have any favorite places? I know you said Red Rocks and stuff like that, but do you have a place that you look forward to going back to when you're on the road? Like,
well, certainly the Greek Theater holds a special place in my heart, just because it, I used to go out there all the time and see Sting play. I think I saw him like 5-6 times there.
Nice.
Wow. And so I've since this I think this would be my 3rd time out there playing.
That's awesome.
At Greek Theater. So and last time I think we had Snoop Dogg's dressing room. Which is
that's sick, man.
Really?
It wasn't like Snoop wasn't in there,
right?
But like they had a little plaque set up saying, "Hey, Snoop Dogg was here."
Couldn't you just tell from the smoke?
Yeah, just like a giant mounted joint. Robin tried to pry it off the wall. But so no, that'll be fun. And then I just it's always fun playing hometown shows. And I think we're playing Phoenix like the day before, day after LA.
Oh, nice, man.
So that'll be good. And then it's just I try not to look I try not to look at these tours too far in advance, or also not try to just forget that, hey, I'm about to play 5 shows in 5 days, because if you do that, then your body and your mind aren't prepared for it. You sort of have to pace yourself. But the nice thing about this tour is I think we're playing like 40 or 45 minutes a night. So you go out, you give it your all, but it's not 90 minutes. Right. And let me tell you, if we were playing 90 minutes a night, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because then there's a little more pacing involved from the standpoint of the show itself, and also the way just the amount of energy that you have to put into it. If you play the first 2 songs, balls to the wall, by that 4th song, you'd be like doing puffer. But yeah, 45 minutes. It'll be fantastic. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Is there something that you'd struggle with when you were younger, when you were drumming, that you would give like a piece of advice you would give somebody today that, like, hey, look out for this? Like
well, actually, I'll answer that question. I'll answer that question in my own way. I'll answer that question by saying that I get parents that will come up to me sometimes after a show, and they'll say, well, first of all, they'll say, do you give lessons? And I'll say, I never took a lesson. So you don't talk to me about lessons.
Right.
However, lessons can be good for the right student and at the right time. So until then, my advice is literally always the same. It's encourage your kid. I often say, instead of getting, and I know that a lot of times parents can't have an acoustic drum set up in their home because it's too loud and they have to play the electronic kit, but it does feel differently. Even the best electronic kits don't feel the same as a good acoustic kit. Is this the kind of answer you're looking for?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, this is good.
No, this is great.
All right. So get a kit, get even like those Shure in-ears that $89 at a Guitar Center. And then plug your iPhone, your whatever into your little contraption, and then just play. And then just get confident playing along, trying to figure out things on your own without going to YouTube. Because if you go to YouTube and you start watching videos on how Red Barchetta was played by Neil Peart, what you're doing is you're getting a watered down, in some cases 5 or 10 times removed version of what that actually was. Instead, let the drummer figure out, even if it's wrong.
That makes sense.
Go ahead and take some stabs at it, because what you'll end up finding is you may not be as wrong as you think you are. And I think you grow as a musician. Plus, it also gives you the confidence, I think, to finally get in and start playing with human beings, which is really that's the ultimate goal, is just to have enough courage to play with your favorite songs, play with your favorite bands, and then say, okay, I'm ready to play with human beings now.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what I usually tell parents. And then I say, yeah, after that, if you see some desire, if you still see some desire there, certainly, yeah, get them in to a therapist immediately. No, get them in with a teacher, start learning the things that a drummer should know. And even just get them a book, get them some stuff to read, and that will encourage and enlighten the mind of a drummer or a musician. It doesn't really have to be. It's not exclusive to a drummer by any stretch. It's the same thing with anybody. Did you
take Copeland's advice at all before, when you were talking about him saying learn to play the guitar? Have you?
I started out on piano, and as with most, 7-year-old piano players, they no.
Yeah,
I didn't.
That's gonna be and with most 7.
And we were leading in, like,
no, yeah, we're like, oh, that's great.
No, I really didn't, and I regret it, because there was even a time like I went through this latency period where I couldn't play piano, and then about maybe 6-7 years later, I sat down and I was like, oh my God, I can actually play some piano still.
Wow.
And then, like, within a summer, I lost it all again, just because I went back to drums. So, right. But absolutely, it's a wonderful, it's just wonderful to be well-rounded, and it makes you communicate a lot easier with your fellow bandmates when they start saying, well, can you do something over here when we go to the D sharp? Mm-hmm. And you're like, what the fuck's a D sharp? or like, you can at least feel like you're talking musically, as opposed to just blang, or when you go to that boom boom part or whatever, you can feel like you at least have a vocabulary that's a little more equipped to deal with these other musicians. How does it work? That's the way you want to think of yourself. You don't want to think of yourself as just a drummer,
right?
Even though everyone else wants you to think of yourself like that, you are better than that.
How does it work for you, like musically in your brain, man? Are you the type that you gotta actually be at the drum kit working stuff out, in real time, or do you hear, a beat that you want to play, or like when people are describing something to you, do you already hear it in your head how it's going to turn out musically?
Yeah, I saw a wonderful. It was called Dave Grohl Storytellers, and he talked about how he used to play with his teeth.
Ooh,
and when he was sitting there telling that story, I thought, oh my God, I thought I was the only one who played with their teeth. And I thought I was the only one who wore the enamel down in his teeth.
Mm.
No, apparently there is an entire team, an army of teeth drummers out there, from what I understand now. And so, yeah, I'm much better as a teeth drummer than I am. And don't ask me to do it right now. I just actually lost some crowns. But yeah, like what you're saying, I actually hear the part, I visualize the part, before I ever sit down behind a kit.
Wow.
And not to get too whatever about it, but like, yeah, you can go to bed, and you can, wake up and you're sort of like inspired, like you hear, like you've heard things in your subconscious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Subconscious.
That was perfect, because that would be like when the dream sequence would come in the TV show and it get all wavy.
The wavy.
You in bed. Oh man, that is awesome. That was nice. That was a nice pose. I like that. You're ready to go. Did you ever think? I mean, because obviously you're going into the arts, but musically, did you ever think about acting? You ever think about doing any of that kind of stuff?
Well, not since I started doing these podcasts and having guys like you tell me that. No,
because I've got this movie. It involves nudity, but it's fine, and we're gonna.
I'm fine with all of it. Really,
fantastic.
I have not thought of it, but as you get older and you realize that you read what people can make doing a TV commercial, and how those paychecks can continue rolling in well into your, whatever. That'd be fantastic. Sure.
Nice prop placement, by the way. Aquafina right in the front. You're like, anyway, if anybody's asking. No, if you have an agent, please pass them along. Yeah, we'll do.
Okay. People will talk.
Yeah. I hope she can help you out more than she's helped me. That is what I love, dude. When you left a comment on my Instagram post, I don't even remember what the post was or whatever. I was like, oh, dude, you should come on the show. And you're like, have your people call my people. And by that, I mean, DM me. I was like, oh.
One of like 3 lines. That's one of my go-tos.
It cracked me up right away. That was like Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap, the reboot. Yes, I agree.
Absolutely.
Can everybody else see these messages too, or is it just me spouting out non sequiturs?
No, everybody can see it. That would be way better if it was only you.
I was like, why is Scott Hessel just
mild Tourette's?
Yes.
That's why.
It would be a great prank to play on actual guests, though, is that they just start firing off these random questions. Like, nobody can see him answering these. Where's he getting them from? They just pop it into his head.
I watch, do you guys, this is now I'm going to be the guy asking you questions. So I'm obsessed with watching, I watch online poker.
Oh,
and
right up my alley.
Okay. So I watched this guy, Phil Negreanu, Kid Poker. And he's on there. He's the multitasker. He's on there winning like thousands of dollars or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's just answering questions on his little Twitch stream. And people are always obsessed with his hair. And they're like, oh yeah, well, I'm moving my hair from the front to the back. I have no, he's like, I don't know why I brought up Phil Negreanu, except that I just wanted to say his name.
I was totally with you, man. I was going along with it. That's great.
Yeah.
The Twitch stream, dude, is making like. First of all, yeah, I watch. Tom watches it, I'm sure, because Tom plays poker. Tom plays.
We started all of this previous to all of this. Before I ever did anything on Twitch or anything, I had a company that we do all gambling and live events and poker and all of that type of stuff. So when COVID hit, I moved over to gambling on Twitch live, and people were following us and just watching us gamble online, which was weird to me, but it was cool. And then when I met John and a bunch of other comedians, we started doing this in like the comedy vein, which was interesting. So that's how we ended up here, actually, is from gambling online and all that type of stuff.
Wow.
But
well,
yeah.
see, the worlds have collided.
It's all...
I won a poker tournament today. I couldn't believe it. I beat 195 other people.
Nice.
Shit, dude.
Yes.
Way to spike.
Awesome.
Got me nothing.
It
wasn't a buy-in one?
No.
Oh,
I'm a pussy. Such a pussy. I can't afford that.
I'm gonna teach you how to play.
Jesse's our gambler in the band.
Oh, really?
I shouldn't say that. Wait, should I?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
There's some good brand ambassador deals coming out for gamblers.
We're gonna do it. Yeah, we're gonna do a Dystopia Tonight charity poker playing event thing where I'm gonna lose everything.
I'm in. High five.
Yeah.
High five.
Hey, boom.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. I can't really play. I mean, Tom's always asking me to play. He's like, "Why don't you come in with us?" I'm like, "I'm not gonna be that dude that gets suckered into fucking playing." You know, I could play. Yeah, he's trying to like rob me of what little. I'm gonna have to start giving away buttons. Have any money left over? I'm like, yeah, sure. Do you want the Kurt Vonnegut or the Courage the Cowardly Dog?
I'll take the Kurt Vonnegut button.
You want the Kurt Vonnegut button? I'll send it to you. That's fine
button.
with me. Yeah, I love that everybody loves Vonnegut, man. It's so great.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, man. I got to ask you the 3 questions that we ask every guest.
Hold on. Can I
we got more?
Please field some of our questions from
the crowd? Let's field the questions from the crowd.
Yeah, because I don't want to miss
out. Only Scott can see.
Yes.
Oh, no.
So, do you have any rituals before you perform?
Yes.
Well done.
Next.
Next.
No, I'll tell you briefly. I used to take a nap, and that was sort of something that was tipped along to me by our lead singer. He takes a nap every day before the show.
Really?
No.
Naps usually leave me feeling like I want more sleep.
Me too.
Yep.
So I about 3 years ago went on a long bus tour, and I decided, I'm going to do things differently here with this bus tour. And so I started meditating. And so I meditate now, even if it's like, 30, 45 minutes or whatever. It's just enough to hit the restart button. And so that if that's a ritual, then so be it.
I love that. That's a great ritual. I've heard nothing but good things about meditation.
Me too. Especially the one that Seinfeld does, transcendental meditation, TM.
Yeah, I haven't done transcendental TM, but TM for the
in the know
for the David Lynch among us. No, I haven't done that one. They give you a specific word or a frequency or something, if I'm understanding this correctly.
Yeah.
And but no, mine the stuff that I do is more of it's actually really quite simple. All you just do is you sit and you are still, and you try to make the body as still as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mind follows. And that's it.
So are you supposed to, because I can't imagine, I mean, I've sat quietly before, but my brain's still going like a mile a minute. Does eventually it even out? Like, do you actually just wind up getting quiet in your head?
Yeah, in theory, but I mean, don't expect it to happen. I mean, you want to send me your Twitter, no, never mind. I could talk to you about this offline.
Oh yeah, okay, great.
A long time, but it truly is it's life changing. It's been life changing for me. there are so many things that can be improved upon with the stillness of the mind and your body, and just getting caught up in thoughts, not getting caught up in the future, not getting caught up in all of the shit that you've done in the past.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you hear all of the cliches, which sound like cliches about be here now, live in the present moment,
Right.
but they've been around quite a while, and they, you know, I mean, at least this person can attest to, you know, their benefits. So it's a really good question, actually. That is a good ritual.
Nicely done.
That is very, very well done. Let's see. Sunlight says something. If someone was sitting next to you, Scott, and they wanted your Oculus, would you share it on the plane?
Okay. So this too is a very good question. And I would share, but the problem is that COVID. No, kidding. No, the problem is that when you take the apparatus off your head, and you try to put it on somebody else's head, it kind of deactivates your connection to it. So I would then you would have to hand it back to me quickly. I would have to click the little things that unlock it, and then hope that sticks, and then give it back to you.
Okay.
Got it.
It doesn't really work.
So to answer his question, no, you cannot have his Oculus.
They even make meditation apps for the Oculus, but you keep your eyes open and you're surrounded, and there's this beautiful woman sitting on an ocean, and you're like, this is not meditation.
I tried one of those apps for the phone where they have somebody talk to you, and the entire time I'm doing it, I'm like, God, this fucking woman's annoying. What does she sound like? I think I met somebody who sounds like this. You know, she has a high pitch, and I'm just started thinking about the woman speaking and what it is and what's going on. Yeah.
Is it the Calm app?
Yeah, Calm.
Yeah,
a doctor told me to get it, so I was like, he must know what he's talking about.
You know, and in all fairness, I like the very first app that I started on was Calm, and what I found was her voice was actually distract. I don't want to say any bad things.
No, I know distracting. You're right. It was.
I thought it was sort of distracting.
Yes, agreed. That's what happened to me.
And I don't mean that in a bad. Like, I think she's got an incredibly nice voice, but. I like my guided I use guided meditations, and so I like my guided meditations to be 75-year-old Buddhists.
Or Nick Offerman.
There you go.
Nick Offerman, I heard for the first time the other day. That was wonderful.
Me too. I know. I was like, this guy's fucking awesome. Yeah, very calming.
Who knew?
Fucking Ron Swanson, man.
Ron Swanson.
So good.
Let me see. Is Jin up first on the tour, or is Toad?
Ooh. And now you're boy, this is a puzzler. No, you know what? I think that we are playing the middle slot. The coveted middle slot.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Yes.
That is a sweet spot. That is the best.
It is a sweet spot because well, I better not say anything, or else I better just leave it at that. No, it's gonna be a great show from the beginning to the end. So better get there early for Toad, Jin, and Barenaked Ladies.
Nice. Very nice, man. Do you have any more, Tom? Do you want me to hit the last three?
I'm just trying to see if I have any. I'm trying to make sure I grab everybody's questions if I can.
Yeah. We have a lot of good positive comments, but no.
There are a ton of positive comments.
Oh, I see. Oh, you're filtering these.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Oh, some of them need to be filtered.
Fantastic.
You know what's funny? I've been accused of that.
I have serious FOMO now. Well, listen.
Get to it.
Antibiotics.
Plenty of rest and Aquafina.
Yes.
I enjoyed this totally. And I am a big fan of meditation. I had a therapist once told me, like, shine a light at the wall, right?
What are you,
and
a cat?
Focus on the light and turn off the light, and then, you know, let your mind just sit there, and then whatever comes into your mind first, write it down. And then separate that list into things you can change, things you can't change.
That's called noting.
Is it? See, I've never done that before.
Yeah,
but it was helpful.
That actually, and you don't even need to write it down if it saves you time and trouble, and if it breaks. But you can use the light of a flickering candle, even like anything that like takes your attention, and so you can leave your eyes open. Certainly, that's why you see some people like who will light a candle and they'll say, "Well, you know, I'm going to go meditate in the bathtub or whatever," and they sit in the bathtub and they meditate, and it's a very tranquil experience. Breath meditation is another. Usually, what I describe leads to breath meditation, which is just, you know, watching the breath go in, watching the breath go out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did I tell y'all I'm giving up this drums thing and I'm shaving my head?
And you are now going to be a guru.
That's great. I love it. You can't get rid of the hair. That actually is part of it, I think.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that actually makes it more legit. I think
it's got to be tied up.
Yeah,
top knot. There you go.
I do that.
Awesome.
So did I. I found it polarizing because I used to do that a lot before I donated my hair to like kids with cancer or whatever. But before I did it, I would do a lot of the pulling my hair back and tying it up. And it was very like Game of Thrones-ish, but people either loved it or hated it. It was never like an in-between.
You know, because I do the same thing now just out of because I don't like this hair in my face all day
while you're
long.
Playing.
And so it's like you do it long enough, and now it's like, who cares, right?
Yeah.
People seem to be doing anything they want.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's fashion is fashion.
It is. And they're always trying to catch up to the trendsetter anyway.
Yeah,
right.
It is weird how things kind of like melded together. Like there's a lot of 80s shit that always came through and stuck through, and then a little bit of the 90s is back. And then I saw somebody wearing bell bottoms the other day, casually, not even going anywhere great. I was like, oh, I don't get it, but no, I mean, I don't care either. I don't really have a fashion sense per se, so I'm not gonna get into it. We start talking about fashion. I'm like, anyway, here's my thoughts.
It also spills over into music, though, because I was just telling, I seem to have a lot of conversations with Uber drivers. I was telling my Uber driver yesterday that, like, you listen to music now and anything goes. It's like there's like such wonderful music being made out there.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really tell you when or where or who this is or where it's come from, but I know it sounds good, you know?
Isn't there something they said like Spotify has like 6,000 new songs a day or uploads a day? Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, and so how can we keep up with it, right? People ask me what I listen to, and I say whatever's on, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Or it's like, you know, it's cool too. I mean, I don't actually know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it is kind of interesting, especially on our end of it, is that people will find you, man. People have a niche. If they like you on the internet or if they like your particular brand of music, that's the one they fucking stick with.
Right.
So if they can find you, that's a great thing.
That's right. And that's the trick.
Yeah.
Getting found. I mean, it's really hard to stick out nowadays. It's just hard to be, well, let's get back to Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta,
maybe that's what it takes.
Even he's punching people on airplanes to get noticed. Just can a guy who bit off another guy's ear get a fucking press junket? Jesus.
Well, I was just talking to the Jim Blossoms drummer the other day, and I thought he was kidding about beating someone up on the plane.
And then he just went and did it. Oh, God. He was drumming on this guy's head with an Oculus thing on. I think he thought he was in the game, and he wasn't. We kept trying to tell him. We were shaking him.
That's my alibi. Don't blow it.
Oh, my God. right, I got to ask you these 3 questions, dude. Are you ready for the first one?
Is this what they call the lightning round?
Lightning round,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Lightning round where you take your time if you want to answer them lengthy.
I don't wanna
Some
do
people do think like I'm like quickly, and they're like, "Fuck, I don't know." I'm like, no, nobody has anywhere to go. So first question is, if you can go back in time and talk to your younger self, what piece of advice would you give yourself to help yourself out today?
Sis boom ba. What does a sheep say? What does it? Wait, I blew that entirely. What does an exploding sheep say? There you go.
Yeah,
My Karnak
that was a fucking awesome reference. You're the first person to do a Karnak reference out of 160 something guests. That was beautiful.
Okay, so and I blew it. So what would the old me tell the young me?
Yeah.
Boy, as much as I mean, my everything you hear is right. They always say have something to fall back on. Yeah, certainly have something to fall back on. If you're a musician, it especially now, it probably makes the most sense to just have something like acting.
Commercials, yeah, that's nice.
Product placement. Just because again, there are too many musicians. Please just go away.
Yeah.
We don't need any more.
Seriously, and fucking that's a good thing for comedians too. There's too many people that do it as a fucking hobby, which irritates the shit out of me. And they're like, I'm actually in banking, but on Saturdays we go down to the shut the fuck up. Do your banking shit and leave.
I got a set on Thursday night. Can you come by? No, I can't. I'm going to support you.
Exactly. Oh my god, dude. I know. I love it when there's like a local thing by next couple towns over that this woman does where it's like for people who've always wanted to try doing comedy, and I'm like, why the fuck? And it's all like 40, 50-year-old dudes that show up and their wives hate them. I hate them. Like I don't go, but I like, I what I mean?
John Gold strictly to heckle.
I'm like, boo. Letterman would hate you. You know what I realize is an inherent flaw about that time travel question, though? I should say a specific age, because we can't have people going back in time and shaking their 5-year-old self like, have a fallback. Like, you need a more specific. You're just going to scare the shit out of your 5-year-old self and ruin your whole life. We had one guy who said...
I could have done that pretty easily, because I think I got my first drum set when I was about like 3 or 5.
Oh,
it was like a little country and western kit, and I probably could have taken the drum set away from him and
given him a math book. We had one guy. I don't even remember who it was, but he said he would have fucked more. And I just thought about that. Like, man, could you imagine if he went back at the wrong place in time and was like, "Listen, kid, everything that moves." He's like a 3-year-old version of himself. Like, he never touches another human being again. Scars him.
Really bad advice. But...
Yeah. No, it's a good. Oh no, trust. I would do the same. That guy was me. I came on my own show and was like,
how about this? Take a few more chances with the ladies.
There you go. That's a nicer way to put
it. Be more confident.
Yes.
At least with your 8th grade teacher. Wait, what? No.
I fucking love it.
Don't even laugh at that.
Oh no, that's great. We're leaving this all in. Normally I'll be like, we're gonna cut that. It's all staying in. Nothing gets cut. How many times I've said to people, "Oh, we'll cut that," and it's left in.
It would be even better if Scott's 8th grade teacher finds him on social media after this. Is like, hey,
she's still alive. He was 70 at the time, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I was also one of those kids who never got the young crop of t-shirts. I always got the old ones. And then like my friend's siblings came up and then they retired and they got all these, and it doesn't matter. I'm like, damn it. Yeah. Like I would have had a chance. I looked like a terrorist apparently. I don't know. It was like 7th grader me really had a shot getting Acme equipment from Wiley. There was no, that makes any sense. Second question. What had to end in your life, good or bad, that led you exactly to where you are today?
What had to end in my life?
Yes.
Good or bad in my life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think you've stumped me here.
It's a good one.
Oh man. See, you are going to have to cut some time on this one.
It's okay. Don't worry.
I was going to say, well, it would be easier. I'm just going to not answer your question and say, so what ended up happening bad in my predecessor's life was he got fired.
Oh,
Wow.
nice. That's a good. No, that's a great answer, though.
That's what had to end.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, somebody else's career had to get fucked up.
I mean, not to wish, not to wish that upon him, but there is a funny story, but it's not my story to tell.
Oh, all right. We'll have to figure that one out.
Yeah.
And the last question I love because it ties into the show. So if this was a genuine dystopia, even more so than it kind of is now, but like it was alien zombies, comet headed toward Earth, floods, whatever it is, and everybody knew it was their last day, what would be your epic death? How would you want to go out?
You know, something a friend of mine from high school said, which I don't even know if this is the way I would really like it to go out for me, but it always stuck with me. He said, and this was like during the Reagan era. So he was like, you know, if they were sending a nuclear bomb over, I would go out into the prettiest green field and I would pull up a lawn chair and I would just say, come and get me.
Nice.
And I always thought, what a bunch of bullshit that is. But I'm repeating it to this day. So there you go. There's my answer.
That's great, man. Go. I love it.
I will tell you this, that lately I've had some recurring dreams that are sort of not exactly like that, but they certainly are. They're certainly like okay, well, you know, and it's probably again with everything that's in the news, and you know, you get things, jumbled around in your head a little bit, but you know, we're certainly in a strange time, aren't we?
Absolutely, man. And it's weird too, because we've also learned to ignore kind of the news too. We've learned to absorb it, remember it, and then go about our compartmentalize it long enough. But it's weird to compartmentalize nuclear war and then a guy is testing shit.
Literally.
Yeah. Where you know, you're scrolling through news, and plus the fact that we get our news by scrolling in general anyway. So you're like, if it's Twitter or TikTok or whatever your poison is, you're looking at like multiple shit. So it's like entertainment, death, you know, and then back to like, so it's just a weird combination of shit.
I find it incredibly surreal that, you know, I get a lot of my news on the Twitter machine.
Yeah.
Good and bad. That's where, you know, at least that's where you find obituaries first. But
God, yeah.
So, but I just find it incredibly surreal that we can sit and like watch in real time all of these comments on the potential of nuclear weaponry going off in any part of our world, right next to whether or not, you know, Will Smith has apologized appropriately to Chris Rock, and then, you know, what the score of the game is. And and then let's throw in whether or not we have a new variant. You know, just
everything gets equal footing.
Don't you guys just feel like at times like we are at that moment when we are just going to, the density of all of the information, all of the bullshit, it's just gonna, like, how much more do we take? Like, before it just says
somewhere on the planet there's just this eddy of despair, and it's all our fucked up tweets and thoughts and news information just swirling around ready to explode.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Yeah, it's too much, man. I know people who've checked out, and I've had to do it myself too. I don't know if you had to do the same thing, but where you're just like, I cannot care about anything anymore. Somebody will tell me something that I know is truly fucked up that's happening in the world, and I'm like, I got nothing. I'm just gonna watch MASH and eat ice cream, and that's it.
My version of that is that like I used to go into the hotel room. First thing I would do, flip on the TV, put the news on, and it would just stay on in the background. And then one day I realized, oh my God, I've turned into my parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's all they do is
right.
it's just this, and it doesn't even matter. I'm not going to cast aspersions as to what channels they're watching, but I will say that it's just this ongoing thing to where then when I have a discussion with them, the only thing that they talk about is what they hear on the news.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that they have to discuss. And so I stopped turning the news on.
Yeah.
And so now I get my dribs and drabs of news, like most people, TMZ.
I've got this one friend who is in complete and total bliss pretty much 24/7. She hangs out with her friends. She's one of those hiking, like always outside, always doing whatever. Never has a fucking clue what's going on in the rest of the world. Yeah. And then you take me, who's just constantly absorbing me and my other friends who have got like the news, everything going on all the time. And I'm like, there has to be some happy middle ground. Because it's the point where she called me one day and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm driving to this bar that we usually go to. And I was like, dude, there's a fucking tornado warning out. And she's like, really? And I'm like, how do you not, I want to be somewhere where I still know I'm going to get sucked up. I'm like, don't you know? She's like, I thought it was weird. There was nobody on the road. And I was like, where the fuck have you been? Like, yeah. So she has no clue.
It's called willful ignorance. Right?
Yeah.
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 I would like to. I think that's great. I'd love
too.
to be like that.
Oh man,
more like that.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. It's fucking awesome. Dude, thanks for staying on for so long, dude. I appreciate it.
Listen, I'm just honored to be here.
Thanks, man.
We're honored to have you.
Yeah.
And let's we'll meet up in Zuckerberg's metaverse.
I will absolutely set this up. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be blast, man. Fucking awesome. I love that you already have an Oculus too. That's like half the battle.
We're gonna talk way more about this. Don't go anywhere because once we sign out, we definitely we'll catch up a little more.
Talk backstage.
Fantastic.
But, awesome. Thanks
for coming. Thank you guys. See you.
Yep. Thank you, man. Peace. See you soon. Bye.
Dystopia Tonight.